what will happen to the governments in the fifth dimension? Yes, I think I have mentioned this before, but let's see if we can get some more details. The era of big government is coming to an end. Not that it's bad, it's not necessarily good, but we have bigger problems than our government. So, not that it's bad and it's coming to an end, it's no longer necessary. We need big government, or we needed big government for defense, to defend ourselves or to not be attacked by someone else because they can see we are much bigger than them. This is the reason we started becoming bigger and bigger as governments. We left the city-state and we created a state, a country, and then a federation of small countries or small states. So what's going to happen in the fifth dimension, or as we get closer and closer to the fifth dimension, is the federations are going to slowly start breaking up. I'm going to find the easiest one to use as an example. The United States. In the fifth dimension, maybe not the first day of the fifth dimension, but as we become more and more fifth dimensional, Washington will no longer represent the states, or the states individually will feel like Washington does not represent them anymore. And they will start seceding, meaning leaving the federation. This will happen in other countries too. There are many federations. There's Mexico, there's Brazil, there's Russia. The European Union will collapse long before then, long before we reach the fifth dimension. Not that there's anything wrong with the European Union. It's just that we're going to go more into localized government. And we are going to go back to the city-states. Cities are becoming more and more powerful. And they are saying, or they are starting to say, the federal government is not necessary for me. I don't need it. Also, I'm paying the federal government way too much money that I could use for my own problems. And this is how little by little we're going to go back into local government. So this is what's going to happen to the governments. We will still have governments, but they will be more like the mayor of a city is today. Most people don't even know who the mayor of their city is. So we will have a government, but it's not going to be someone that is always on television every night, playing the games of, look, we have big problems, you need us. And the governments will be mostly focused on the everyday problems of running the city or running the town, rather than foreign policy. There will be no such thing as foreign policy, because every country will do whatever it wants. We don't tell other people what to do. We won't even be able to tell the city next to us what they can or cannot do. Just like as individuals, we are going inside now. We are starting to focus on us now instead of focusing on everyone around us, family, friends, colleagues. The same thing is going to happen at a government level. We are going to focus locally now instead of focusing on everything else and everyone else. Instead of focusing externally, we are going internally. The same thing that is happening to people as individuals. Again, there are too many people on YouTube that blame the government, that the government is dirty, and they're going to fall. They're not going to fall because they're dirty, because we are just as dirty. We also lie. But they will start changing and we will focus more on localized governments. Let's see if anything else will happen to the government. What will happen to the governments in the fifth dimension? I'm sure the person that asked this question is asking from the perspective of, are they going to be punished for all the dirty things and all the injustices they are committing? No, they will not be punished. There is no such thing as punishment in the universe. Punishment is something humans came up with to make themselves feel better. Instead of looking in and saying, why is this happening on the outside as well? It means something is not right on the inside of me. So instead of looking in, let's punish the people that are doing these things on the outside, and this way I can feel better about myself, and I can go back to not having to look in, not having to look at my dark parts, at my dark side, not having to look at my insecurities, at my fear. These people in government that steal money is simply because they believe there isn't enough, so they have to steal it. But don't you believe this as well? So why is it okay for you to go on believing there isn't enough, but it's not okay for people in government to believe there isn't enough? You see, when you start understanding that there is more than enough, that's when government or people in government will also start understanding this. And this is why we like punishment. And we find the excuse, Americans do this very well, now I have closure. No, you don't, you dumb bitch. What you have now is the okay to go back to your old life without having to look in. That's not closure. So, from this perspective, those of us who are waiting for people in government to be punished, you're going to be waiting a very long time. And it will never happen. You will die, and you will not really have learned much from this reality. You will not really have used up the opportunities that this reality has given you because you were waiting for closure. Instead of waiting for closure, how about you wait for activating a few more cells in your brain? David Icke once had a very good analogy. Somebody did something wrong to you. You're taking him to court. Of course, courts are designed to work very slowly because this way you can focus on your court case instead of focusing on you. So he was describing how you sell your house to pay for the lawyers and everything. You can't really make money because all you are focused on is your court case. The judge at the end, after 4 or 5 years, says, "Yes, Mr. Smith, you are right," and turns to the other person that wronged you and orders him to pay you €1, $1, £1. And you come out of that courtroom and you say to the reporters, "Today, justice was done." Because you cannot face the fact that you spent 4 years of your life and you spend God knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars on these slick lawyers, and that now you are broke and you have to start from zero. Let's not focus on this. No, justice was done. Let's focus on justice. How about you focus on your lack of intelligence. But of course you can't, because you don't know that you lack intelligence. And this is why you do this. This is why you focus on justice. So no, don't wait for government ministers or government whatever, presidents, prime ministers. Don't wait for them to be punished. You were stupid and you gave them the okay to do whatever they wanted. If you want them to disappear, it is very easy. Unplug your television and stop buying newspapers, and they will cease to exist. They are only there because you are listening. Once you stop listening, they will cease to exist. There will be no more government as we know it today. The governments we have today are there because we listen. This is why they create drama. And this is why there is arguments and fights. And this is why they create terrorism. Because we were getting very close to stop listening to them. So then they had to create something so that we can say, look, we need them because only they can deal with terrorism. Stop listening to them and they will go away. But no, they will never be punished, and nor should they. They are simply, how do we put this? A manifestation of our inner thoughts and our inner feelings. This is all they are. I will leave it at this.